All right, so my friends, welcome. Complete set review, March of the Machine. Every single card, limited, constructed, and now we're doing multicolor. And I'm not gonna lie, I am fearing for my life here because this section is horrifying. There are so many legends and so many words, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna go over the cards like we always do. Give out our awards. Any misses on YouTube, please, I'm begging you, take a second, like the video, leave a comment. If you enjoy my content, seriously, it means so much to content creators. If you just take that half a second and any contact you interact with, hit the like button. Is it Twitter? Is it Instagram? Is it YouTube? Every video you watch, every picture you see, if you just see a post of a content creator you like and you like their content, hit the like button. Takes a half a second, helps out so much on the algorithm. It's unbelievable. And it's just so easy and free to do for you as a viewer. So I appreciate you doing that. Thanks so much. Let's get multicolored. Let's look up at some legend team ups here. Starting with Baraul and Karisev. We got Ragavan in the back there too. He's there. He's there. We got 3 mana for it. Is it legend 2/4 First Strike Menace, which is pretty good, honestly. It's decently statted. Whenever you cast your first instant or source spell each turn, you may cast a spell with lesser mana value if it shares a card type with it from your hand without paying its mana cost. If you don't, create First Mate Ragavan, legendary 2/1 red monkey pirate, and on the turn, it gains haste on a turn. So, kind of a weird card. Basically, it's like a 2/4 spell slinger kind of creature. You can use it to cast other spells from your hand, but it doesn't produce cards. So it's not like you're drawing new cards off of it. So you're probably making a monkey a decent amount of the time. But like, how aggressive are you is kind of weird too. Not dying to cut down is definitely a good plus here. But the thing about all these cards is that like, there's just so much like to parse on them. It's so hard to contextualize like if they're good or not. This card seems fine. You know, it does seem reasonable. Makes all your spells expertise. I get it. I get the joke. All the expertise cards from Kaladesh. That's pretty cute. All right, sure. But so yeah, like you know, if you cast some, you also can cast some like Convoke card that costs 6 and like cast a 5-drop in your hand. Also, the problem is it just requires you to be having the cards in your hand to cast already. You don't generate cards off this. And it's important to note that the monkey doesn't go away. It's not like the old Ragavan from Karisev where it dies at the end of turn. So you just can keep making this 2/1 and trading it and keep making a new one, which is kind of cool. So the card does seem good. There's a lot of rate here and the card seems sweet, but like what deck wants this card? I don't know. Honestly. You know, so like I really don't know. Treasure Cruise into Ultimatum. Oh, that's a good one. What's up, Brennan? For sure. But I don't know, honestly. Obviously, an awesome limited card. It was a 2/4 menace for 3. It's just like fine. Make the monkey and stuff. But yeah, I don't know, honestly. That's going to be my response to a lot of these cards is that like they're just so hard to parse what you want to do. But yeah, so card seems pretty good, but You're
saying it wrong.
And Fibblethip.
You're saying it wrong.
I think that was right, actually. Thank you very much. Teamer 5-drop legend 6/5, so decently sized. Whenever it ETBs or attacks, draw a card. Then you may discard any number of land cards. When you discard 1 or more cards this way, it deals twice that much. I can't even read these cards. Like, it deals twice that much damage to target creature. When it ETBs, draw a card. Then you may discard any number of land cards. ETBs or attacks. Like, there's so many stipulations. One more time. When it ETBs or attacks, draw a card. Then you may discard any number of land cards. When you discard 1 or more cards this way, this deals twice that much damage to target. So the floor is just like, discard a land, shock something, sure. And then you can discard more lands if you have them. I don't know how many lands you have in your hand, obviously. The thing here is that, like, if you have some way to, like, draw a bunch of lands, like Life from a Loam or something like that, I guess you could do some bigger stuff with this. But for the most part, you're just, like, discarding a land to shock something, which is, like, fine, I guess. And you can pay 2 and put it into your library 3rd from the top. Sure. So your Red and 7 is kind of a cool one. Slogurk's kind of a cool one. So there are definitely ways to recur lands, which is kind of cool. So there's cool things happening here. And there are multiple cards that could care about this in Standard, which is cool, and the rate's fine. So card seems cool, I guess. I I don't know exactly, but it does seem pretty good. It is a 5-drop as during the turn you cast it, which is a little rough, but busted limited card, no idea constructed. Just like gonna be the standard response here. A non-legendary Botanical Brawler. Green white. This is the signpost uncommon for the green white decks in draft. This is a trample 0/0, comes to play as a 2/2 with 2 counters on it. Whenever one or more busted counters are put onto another permanent you control, if it's the first time a counter's been put on that permanent, put a counter on this. So this is your signpost uncommon for draft. Seems exceptionally good in the green white decks, adding counters everywhere, growing, being a trampler. Just great limited card. Constructed, honestly, maybe if there's enough good counter stuff, because the body here is reasonable enough and it does a reasonable enough job of like play this on 2, play a counter creature on 3, and now it's a 3/3, which is kind of cool. Probably not there constructed, but could be. But limited, this is just busted. Digiru and Hazarit. Red, white 2. Human God 5/4. As long as you have 1 or fewer cards in hand, it has vigilance and haste. So the Hazarit condition, it can attack always, but it has vigilance or haste if you have 1 or fewer hands. Whenever it attacks, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may exile a legendary creature card from among them. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Until end of turn, you may cast the exiled card without paying its mana cost. Jesus. Whenever it attacks, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may exile a legendary creature. So it's sort of like a Winona for Legends. And then if you have 1 or fewer cards, it has haste and vigilance, which is so you get to use it immediately. Jeez. This card's pretty busto. Because obviously there's no you're playing its mana cost. You can just put like an Emrakul in play or something like that. And you cast it too, so you can just Emrakul or Attrax it for free off this thing. Jesus. It's also a human for Joda too. Wow. This card looks busted. I don't know what else to say. It just looks absolutely busted. You got to build around it, obviously, but the thing here, of course, is that like having 1 or fewer cards is tough if you're playing a bunch of legends and crap like that. So like we really need to. That's a serious caveat. And the haste is the important part of the card. So if you just play this and say go, just untap and kill it. But so there's definitely some deck building tension there. But this card does seem pretty busted. Sure. Yeah. I mean, probably a pretty good one. Again, contextually, I have no idea. Busted and limited because it's just a vigilance haster for 5. Not busted, but good. There's also a lot of legends in the set too. I don't even know. But my best in show, my awards for this multi-card section, I want stricken from the record because I have no idea. Honestly, these are ridiculous. Dronna and Lynn Balas next, which is a 4-drop 3/4 flying vigilance angel, which is pretty good. Activated abilities of your opponent's creatures can't be activated, which is a very good ability, honestly. And then it has all the activated abilities of your opponent's creatures, which is also pretty good. This card's sweet, honestly. Lynn Balas saw a decent amount of play in Modern and other formats as a way to kind of stop creature combos and stuff like that. And this card does that, but with other upside of stealing abilities and then having vigilance too. This card seems good in standard against Fable the Mirror Breaker. You can just turn off their Reflection of Kiki Jiki and then copy and use the ability of your own, which is kind of cool. Yeah, Blood Scythe Harvester, pretty cool. So kind of a cool card. Flying Vigilance. I wish it had lifelink. It'd be insane if it had lifelink, but still very, very good. This card seems very playable for sure. Being an angel matters in some formats also. Seems very good. Honestly, just a very good card. Obviously great in limited. Just a really, really good legend in limited. Gonna be a pretty high powered format, I think, in limited. Elvish Vatkeeper. Away from the legends. I'll probably just sort of these legends and then the signpost uncommons, but whatever. Vatkeeper is your signpost uncommon for Golgari. It is a 3-mana 3/3, which is pretty good. It ETBs to Incubate 2, which is excellent. And then you spend 5 mana to transform target incubator token you control and double the number of counters on it. So that's also really good. So good mana sink, good rate, just a great uncommon for your Golgari decks. A little less, a little more rate, a little less synergy, because like it's just really good on rate regardless. But great drafts uncommon, obviously. Errant and GG. We have 3 mana for a 2/3 Azorius Flash Flying Human Angel. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may cast spells with flash or flying on top of your library. This card's kind of gas. The Angel deck does not have a lot of ways to be nimble or to get card advantage. And this card does both, which is pretty awesome. at a decent size. A 2/3 for 3 is fine, not great. It does not give your spells flash. You can't cast an angel off the top of your library. It's spells with flash or flying. So kind of cool that it goes a few ways also. This can be like in a flash deck or in an angel deck or in a flyer deck or whatever. But this card's good. I can see this card having a home in multiple formats. Definitely a pretty cool one. And then in limited, just a 2/3 flying flash for 3, which is great. So Ghalta and Mavren. I hate this card. I don't know why they printed this card. I don't know why Sword needs to be a stupid 2-card combo in Pioneer or whatever, but green, white, 3. Dinosaur, Vampire. Very important, obviously, because now Sorin can put this thing into play on turn 3, which is just stupid, honestly. 12/12 Trample. Whenever you attack, choose 1. Create a tapped and attacking XX green dinosaur creature token with Trample, where X is the greatest power among other attacking creatures. Or make X 1/1 vampire tokens with lifelink, where X is the number of other attacking creatures. So for the most part, this is like a pretty powerful 12/12. And like, I don't know why Pioneer needs another stupid like 2-card combo, but here it is. Turn 1 Lana Elf, turn 2 Sorin, put this thing in play. There's 12/12 GLHF. Aside from that, it's just a kind of a big dumb idiot, honestly. It's tapped attacking 12 X3 is power among other attacking creatures, not as a count itself. So yeah, I mean, aside from that, it's just like a big dumb idiot. Like whatever, it's just a random 7-drop, so who cares? But with that, create a tapped and attacking XX green creature with Trample, where X is the greatest power among other attacking creatures. It does not count itself. So yeah, I don't know. Obviously, stupid and limited. Stupid with Sorin, probably unplayable otherwise. Alyssa, Herald of Predation. 5 mana 4, 8/3/5. Phyrexian Zombie Elf. 3 all relevant creature types. Beginning of combat your turn, choose 1. Incubate 2 twice. Transform all your incubators. Or Phyrexian to control, gain first, second, death touch. This one's pretty nice, actually. Being able to transform all your incubators in one shot is insane. It's a huge mana value. And then also, if you are out of them, you can just make 2 more, which is pretty sweet too. So if there's some sort of incubator deck, this is the one. And then when you're all ready to attack, you can just give all your stuff first, second, death touch. I mean, it needs to have the right deck, but this card is pretty damn powerful. A lot of vibes here as far as making an army and doing everything else. Kind of does everything, but it does cost 5. But it is also beginning combat, so you can play this when they're tapped out, get an effect immediately, and if they kill it, you still get value too. So pretty good card, honestly. Card's solid. The card's very solid. And limited, absolutely busted. Good luck beating this card in limited. Halo Forgers are Demir Signpost uncommon. 3/1 flyer for 3, which is pretty good. When it ETBs, you may pay X. When you do, you may cast target instant or sorcery card with mana value X or my graveyard without paying its mana cost. If a spell will be put into a graveyard, exile instead. This is obviously a huge deal for Modern, because this can cast the 0 mana cards for free, basically at 3 mana. So you can cast your, whatever from the graveyard, your Crashing Rhinos and so on and so forth. But in limited, this card's pretty good. Obviously, it just can cast your opponent's removal spells and so on and so forth. Constructed, aside from the interaction with the Cascade cards, I mean, this is just a bad Snapcaster Mage for the most part. I don't know why you'd want this card. It's not good enough for Modern, and then in Standard there aren't enough good 1-mana spells. So, good draft card. Otherwise, not really that exciting. It is what it is. Hidetsu and Kyrie. Sure, maybe, possibly.
You're saying it wrong.
5 mana for a Demir 5/4 flying, so pretty good rate. When it ETBs, draw 3 cards, then put 2 cards to Brainstorm. And then when it dies, exile the top card of your library. Target opponent loses life equal to its mana value. If it's an instant or sorcery card, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. Okay, so 5/4 ETB Brainstorm, Death Trigger, deal damage to them, and then maybe cast a spell. Yeah, I mean, this is another pretty sick card on rate. It's obviously busted and limited. And constructed, you can do some cute stuff with this, with like putting some big expensive card on top of your library or whatever it is. It's brainstorming, but like, I don't know if that matters in your 5 mana, 5 mana sorcery speed card. So like, feels like more of a commander card than anything else. Yeah, whatever. Busted draft card. Inga and Esika. 4 mana for a 4/4 Simic creature. Creatures you control have Vigilance and tap to add 1 mana of any color, but this can only be used to cast creature spells. And then whenever you cast a creature spell, if 3 or more mana from creatures was spent to cast it, draw a card. This card's kind of gas, honestly. These sort of like Cryptolith Rite effects have been playable before, and this card does that effect obviously very well. Vigilance is cool, mana of any color is cool, and then if you can just like keep casting creatures and drawing cards. And then the rate here is fine also as a 4/4 for 4. I don't know if there's a deck in Standard that would want this card, nor do I know if there's a deck in a format that this card is powerful enough for that would want it. But it's a pretty solid card, honestly. Obviously, again, busted and limited. But outside shot in Constructed, I think, in Standard. You definitely have some combo potential for sure. If you can give your stuff haste, so Tyvar, pretty good here. Tyvar can give your things haste. Now you're like... tap a creature, play a creature, make some stuff, tap a creature, whatever, and so on and so forth. Pretty cool. Yeah, it's a cool card. Joyful Stormsculptor is our Signpost uncommon. 5 mana for 2/3. ETBs make 2 tokens. Whenever you cast a spell with its Convoke, it deals 1 damage to each opponent and each battle they protect. So, good card. Obviously a little clunky at 5 mana, but 2/3, 2 tokens, and then a little extra value on Convokes is pretty cool. Definitely a decent chance you can just play this card and then cast a Convoke card immediately. I think at 5 mana, this card's kind of unexciting, though. At 4 mana, I think this card's great. But at 5, it's okay. But, yeah, it's cool. Pretty good. Colga and Yodaro. Wake up, folks.
Oh my god, Becky.
I think this card is awesome. Green, red, 2. So 6 mana, Curve Topper. 8 Dinosaur Turtle. 7/7. When it ETBs, choose 1. It gains trample and haste till end of turn, or it fights a creature you don't control. So that's awesome. ETBs to kill something, or just slam in for 7. Then, that's not all. You can spend 4 mana and discard this from your hand to disenchant something, shuffle it back into your deck, and draw a card. That is also really, really good. So the versatility of this card is off the charts. I mean, I think this card is just excellent. It's a great curve topper. It's great value. You don't feel bad about killing their Bank Buster with this thing because you just could put it back in and draw a card anyway. Kills Fable, kills Wedding Announcement. I think this card is going to be a major, major player constructed. I know Colga and Yodaro don't have a pedigree separately, but put them together and oh boy, they make quite the pair. Definitely.
Our hero returns.
Definitely an awesome card. I think this card's really, really good and absolutely broken and limited. Card's great. Card's super, super good. Big time sleeper. This one I can parse. This one makes sense to me. I like this one a lot. Moving on to Croxa and Kuros. Why are these guys hanging out together? 5 mana Mardu for a 6/6. Vigilance, Menace, Lifelink. So it's a house, as most of these cards are. Whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, you may exile 5 cards from your graveyard. When you do, return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So, kind of cute here alongside Altar of Dementia, because you can sacrifice this to mill 6 cards, and then keep doing it, right? Whatever, ETB, yeah, so you ETB, sack it, mill it, keep doing it. You can like loop your whole deck like that or whatever, I think, right? Kind of works. I think that works. And then, it's just big. Good. It's a powerful curve topper also. Like, that's like the combo potential for this card. But even just play it straight up, like, this is just a 6/6 Menace, Vigilance, Lifelink that you can return a creature with and just keep doing it over and over again. But again, what deck wants this card? I don't know. I don't know what deck wants any of these cards. You know, like, they're just like a really good card. Unbeatable, unlimited for sure. You're exiling your graveyard to your library. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I don't know what... It's a loop. You know, what do you do with the loop? I don't know, but sure. But yeah, it's another busted card that's busted and limited, and I don't know what you want to do with it constructed. Marshal of Zolfir is your Signpost uncommon for Azorius. 2/2, Lord, can tap things. Pretty good card. Pretty simple card, not hard to parse. Good and limited. Chance of constructed for sure. Mirror Shield Hoplite. This is the Boros Signpost card. 2 mana for a 2/2 Vigilance. Whenever a creature you control becomes the target of a backup ability, copy that ability. You may choose new targets for the copy. This ability triggers once a turn. Really, really good card, obviously. So you should double up on all your backup counters, which is excellent. As Vigilance, great target for counters. Super solid draft card. Not much to say. Mutagen Connoisseur, your Simic Signpost uncommon. This is a Simic 3-drop. It is an 0/5 flying Vigilance and gets +1/+0 for each transformed permanent you control. Pretty cool card, honestly. This is the kind of card where it plays very good defense early while you build up to your build up to what you're doing here. And then blue-green's all about transforming stuff, so you end up with a few transform things in play. Now it's a 3/5, now it's a 4/5. Having Vigilance is great. Good card, honestly. Good defensive card, good rate. I like it. Omnath, Locus of All. Just we needed more Omnaths. Wooburg, but the black is Phyrexian. 4/4. If you would lose unspent mana, that mana becomes black instead. Sure. So you can store mana, but only black mana, which I guess could be useful, maybe. Beginning of your pre-combat main phase, look at part of your library. You may reveal the card if it has 3 or more colored mana symbols in the cost. If you do, add 3 mana in that combination and put it in your hand. If you don't reveal it, put it in your hand. So basically, it's just like every pre-combat main phase draw card. And then if it's a multicolored card, you get 3 mana to cast it and then draw it. Is that good?
You look terrible.
I don't know. Honestly, that's the worst set review of all time. If there's a deck that can cast this and wants to cast it, I guess, some sort of like legend deck or something. I mean, building around 3 mana cost legends seems a little iffy, but sure, I guess. I don't know. And then in limited, I can't wait to cast this card in limited. I'm definitely playing this card in limited for sure. But if it has 3 more, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I misread it. Weird. 3 or more. Oh, I'm sorry. It's 3 or more pips. Not 3 different colored mana symbols. Just 3 colored mana symbols in general. I apologize. So, this can cast a leatherback belt or whatever it is. So, yeah. I don't know. I'm just gonna move on. Contorius Loremaster. Boros 5 mana legend. 3/5 vigilance. Beginning of your end step. Exile target non-creature, non-land card from your graveyard and make a 3/2. So that's pretty good, actually. So it's a 3/5 and a 3/2 immediately. And then pay 3 and sacrifice a spirit. Choose a card, exile with this. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost. If that's what I put in the graveyard, put it in the bottom of someone's library instead. Okay. So again, another card that's great on rate. Very good and limited. Constructed. You can obviously play things, so it has to be non-creature, non-land, too. Play big spells with this, I guess. And, like, play it for free, I suppose, if it lives. This is so many limited bombs. I don't know. Honestly, I'm just gonna move on. Rampage Geoderm is the Gruul Signpost uncommon. 3/3 trample haste. Whenever you attack, target attacking creature gets +1/+1 on the turn. And then if it's attacking a battle, it gets to put a counter on it, which is great. So 4/4 haster puts counters, really, really good. Great draft card. Rankle and Torbran, red, black, 1, fairy dwarf 3/4, flying first strike haste, so pretty good rate. Whenever it does combat damage to a player or a battle, choose any number. Each player creates a treasure token. Each player attacks a creature. If a source will deal damage to a player or battle of his turn, it does that much damage +2 instead. Sure. So, kind of a curve topper for like a Rakdos deck. Similar to Rankle, you can do all the abilities. Each player sacrifices. If it's like a red-black sacrifice deck, this card's kind of cool. Makes treasures. Each player sacrifices a creature. Sure, but again, it just costs 5 mana and it's kind of hard to cast. And I don't know, it's busted and limited again. But, First Strike's pretty good. I guess First Strike means that you turn on the third ability before your regular damage. Sure, that's a thing. I guess it's kind of cute, but Scalded Perfection is the black-white build-around uncommon. Enchantment, ETB, Incubate 2, and that's an Anthem for your Phyrexian. Seems pretty good, actually. Honestly, good for like Incubate tokens. Incubating 2 is pretty cool as well. Doesn't seem amazing. You're not affecting the board that much, but it's a good, reasonable draft uncommon. Stormclaw Ranger is the Rakdos build-around card. 2/2 for 3. Pay 1, sack creature or artifact, put a counter on this and draw a card. I can only use a sorcery. This card's insane. Super good. Sack a treasure, grow it, draw a card. Very Tile Tracker-esque, honestly, but at uncommon. So seems excellent. Seems really, really good. Thalia and the Gitrog monster. I'm just guessing, folks. I'm grasping at straws. I got no idea. This is my best in show. The problem is if there's no deck that can cast this card, no one will play it, but seems pretty good. 4 mana Abzan for a 4/4, first strike, death touch. So an absolute monster. You may play an extra land each turn. Your creatures and non-basic lands your opponent control enter the battlefield tapped. And then whenever it attacks, you sacrifice a creature or a land, then draw a card. Again, it's a bunch of abilities that are all pretty powerful. What do they do together? I don't know. Honestly, it's a human for the Legend deck, which is important. But I just don't know. I don't know what to do with any of these cards. Like, that's my guess. In Limited, if you can cast this card, have fun. You're going to win, probably. In Constructed, if you can cast this card, have fun. You're going to win, probably. I don't even know. Seems pretty good. Obviously, first strike, death touch is insane. And then the ability to sacrifice and draw cards is super cool. Yeah. Yes. Moving on. Yargle and Multani.
Good lord. Gigantism.
Good old rock. Nothing beats that.
Let's hear it for this card. What a much needed break in the set review. No text. None. 6 mana, 18/6. That's it. The first vanilla card printed in this millennium. Great flavor text also. Great. Card's funny. Obviously good and limited because it's just freaking huge. And constructed. Obviously people are trying to fling this and so on and so forth. But that's all I got. I'm just going to take a break. This is the break card. Everybody take a second. Take a breath. Take a breath. Sip your drink. And thank Yargle for the break here in our set review. But right back to it with Simone and Dina. All right. Trap card.
It's a trap.
Sultai for a 3/4, which is pretty good. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, target opponent loses 2 life, and you gain 2 life. Okay. Pay 1. Pay 1. Tap sack creature, draw a card. You may put a land card of your hand on the battlefield tapped. If you control 8 or more lands, repeat this process. I struggle to see what, like putting a sacrifice effect alongside like play extra lands and draw cards effect just makes no sense at all. Like those two things are completely like non-compatible at all. Like you want to ramp and draw cards, or you want to do like sacrifice stuff. Those things don't jive. And then the drain effect doesn't jive either because it doesn't make sense with the order of those abilities either. So I don't know what this card ever wants to do with anything. Like it's just a lot of words put in with a lot of random abilities, and there's just no continuity here. I struggle to fathom a deck that would want this card, except for a commander deck that is like, specifically built around it because you have it every game. And this card at least is not busted and limited. It's like probably fine, but not amazing. But yeah, this is just a commander card. I don't know. Sure. I'm just going to move on to the next card. It's the trap card. Zurgo and Ojtai. This one's a little simpler. 5 mana for a 4/4 flying haste. Cool, we get that part. Has hexproof as long as it ETB this turn. So the first turn you play it has hexproof, which is pretty cool actually. Whenever one or more dragons you control deal combat damage to a player or a battle, look top the cards of your library, put one of them in your hand, rest in the bottom of your library. In any order, you may return one of those dragons to its owner's hand. So that last line of text is a little weird, but the play pattern here can be play this, hexproof, can't stop it, attack, deal damage, draw a card, bounce it. Play it, can't stop it, and you just can keep doing that. They can never kill it, which is kind of cool. And then it's also just like a curve topper that can draw cards. There aren't many dragon things happening in the format, so the other dragon part is not super relevant. But pretty good card. We know what 4/4s for 5 that have haste do. Can draw a card, which is kind of cool. Sort of like your, control mid-range finisher. Get it in, close the game out, attack Planeswalker. Pretty good. Pretty solid card. There is no trigger here, so this will never have a window to kill it. It just enters with hexproof already. But card's pretty good. Again, I don't know what wants this deck, but what card wants this? Again, busted and limited. Like, but yeah, definitely, it's cool, I guess. All right, so we did it. We completed the wordiest section of all time, the multi-card section of March of the Machine. Best in show is Thalia and the Gitrog Monster. Sleeper card. Honestly, I think this card's just better than Thalia's anyway. I think that now that I thought about it a little more, like, this card's just, like, probably the best multi-card card in the set. But regardless, Colga and Yodaro is our sleeper card, and Simone and Dina is our trap card. And I need a shot of Jack or something, all right? YouTube folks, love you. Like, comment, subscribe. We got Colors next. And, yep.